Okay. Okay.
Actually, I
Hello.
think I just log in here. Hi, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
I'm going great.
Give me one sec. Any chance I could see your camera?
Yeah, dude. Hold on.
Hell yeah. All
Okay,
right.
wait. How do I load my? I want to load my current cloud save. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay.
Oops. Okay.
So I'm gaining. Wait, why am I gaining defense XP? That's why it's not leveling.
What are you playing? I heard you talking about it.
Oh no, wait. This is different. My cloud save was really old. What am I playing? It's a
Yeah,
game called Melvor. You wouldn't understand, okay?
that's fair. I already don't understand.
That's okay. All right, I'm getting strength XP over here. Sorry, hold on. Give me 1 second.
You're good.
Okay, Melvor. Or save so that my cloud save is okay.
There we go. Perfect.
I don't know how to navigate this interface at all. Okay, look, summoning. All of these are maxed except for Mark of the Minotaur, and it's not even the bar is not even going up. I already have these tablets because I think I have them equipped right now. Minotaur, six. I've got like 8,000 of these equipped. Look at my combat. I've got strength as my style equipped. It's just luck, man. You just have to wait. You've been unlucky. Whatever, dudes. Okay. All right. What you got for me?
Um, First of all, thank you very much. I know you're super busy. You and everybody that I've reached out to have been super nice to let me talk to you about this, to work in this project. And I think it's important to say thank you.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, you're very welcome. No problem.
and I just want to address the power dynamics between us. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, gotcha.
Because I benefit from this way more than you do. No, no, no. Okay, so when I made up my list of people to talk to for this project,
Hmm.
you're obviously the most important person on the list.
Oh, jeez.
I mean,
It's a lot of pressure.
get the fuck out of here. Uh, you, aside from Max himself, are probably the most important person to having his career look like it does now in the way that it does. Like,
Okay.
do you agree with that? Are you gonna be super soy modest on me?
I'm a little modest, but yeah, I'm sure I helped a bit. Yeah.
Which I'm not trying to say that he wouldn't have taken off eventually, but I mean, I think if
No,
you
yeah, I
asked
understand.
him,
Yeah,
he'd
sure.
he'd say the same.
Mhm.
So I know you've mentioned a couple times in the past, but can you kind of run down how you found out about him and like the process and going like, I think I'm gonna have him come on. I want to talk to him and kind of figure out who this Mr. Girl guy is.
He messaged me to talk a while ago. Did I talk to him before or after Vosh did?
I thought it was after,
I think it
but
was after. Okay. I was doing trans stuff. I think I was doing trans stuff at the time, and then I got a DM from somebody called Mr. Girl who wanted to talk about trans stuff. And I assumed that it was a trans person because the name was Mr. Girl, and I was like, okay. So I thought it was like a trans person that wanted to come on chat about trans stuff. Oh, okay.
checks
A
out.
lot of people on my chat are saying before. Okay, so yeah. So he messaged me about that. He came on. He talked. I thought the conversation was really interesting. And then I saw him try to talk to Vosh afterwards. And then after that, I did kind of like some diving around his channel. I looked at his content. I was like, oh, this is like really high quality shit. And I thought he was really interesting. So I was like, yeah, we'll chat with him more. I think his channel seemed like pretty cool, pretty unique.
Yeah. So, what'd you see that grabbed you?
I mean, like everything seemed very thoughtful. Even if I disagreed, at the very least, I could tell that there was like unique thought being put into it. And then the quality was very high in everything he did. So like his music, the quality was very high. Um, the like the camera shots, like the presentation, like everything seemed like very purposeful and like very artistically done.
Okay, so like high production value coupled with like he's actually thinking about how he approaches these subjects in a meaningful way.
Yeah, not just high
Okay.
production value, but like artistic like vision. Because like anybody could like pay for an expensive camera, but like he was doing like cool kind of like artsy shots and stuff. I remember watching one video where there's like a drone flying to like his bedroom window and stuff. Like I thought it was like interesting.
Yeah, a lot of fans that I talk to really go hard on the lighting. That's like a really
Hmm.
big one that people notice a lot. So
Hmm.
yeah, that makes sense. And then like what can you kind of give me like an overview of like how your guys' relationship like started and is going?
I mean, I think I brought him on stream to talk a couple times. He started to blow up a little bit from my fans watching him, and then from making his own fans after my fans started watching him. And then we kind of like we chatted privately a couple times. I think about dealing with like the newfound like fame and hatred and everything going on with that. And then yeah, and then we've like anytime he wants to come on stream and chat, we'll do that. Or anytime I want to chat with him, I'll message him and do that. And then yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Do you consider him a friend off camera?
Yeah, I guess as much as I would consider like anybody a friend on camera. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's a really big perception that a lot of people get. And when I've talked to some other people, it might come off that way. And in reality, they don't think that that's the case. It's just all on camera stuff. So
Hmm.
it's kind of hard to tell.
Sure.
I guess what does that look like for you? If you say as much as anybody who is off camera is, do you not have
I mean, like
like
if he has
friends
like a
that?
personal issue he wants to talk about or something like that, then I'm always like open to chat and stuff.
Okay, fair enough. Um, so what do you think that? Sorry. What do you think about the way his process and the way that he creates things? It sort of gets him to like shake the Twitch politics and like social commentary sphere, like in the part of it like where you have like a lot of reach in, I'd say at least. And it feels like nobody but you kind of has the ability to put something out that just makes everybody go insane, and that's all they can talk about for a week or two. Like nobody does it like maybe not even you do it as consistently as Mr. Girl does with a larger project. Like your
Hmm.
your manifesto hit pretty hard, but like we got like 4 or 5 videos in like what 5 or 6 months of this guy showing up, and just everybody freaks out about it.
Wait, of what showing up? Sorry, say that more time.
Of Mr. Girl showing up. Like
Uh huh.
Max shows up, and even like his old like cuties video starts getting a lot of talk just because he's here, and then like, everybody starts talking about pedophilia, and then we have the Dr. K video, everybody talks about that, and then the Real Doll review, everybody talks about that. It seems like whenever he like really puts out like a major piece, uh, everybody freaks
Oh
out, and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
all they
yeah.
can talk about. That what why do you think he's the only one that's like capable of doing that? Is it just because he's so edgy, or because like
Probably like being
the
really
message?
provocative and then like having like a like standing next to that view like really hardcore is probably important. Um, so like if you're willing to put out a really provocative statement and then stand by and defend it, I think people will gravitate towards that and want to fight it. And then having like a decently big size helps you too. So he's like probably larger than most of the Twitch streamers now, right? Because he gets like at least 500 concurrent viewers, if not more. Um, so yeah, I think that that combination of things will get people to talk about those statements.
Okay. Um, hmm. I guess I guess that makes a lot of sense if they all wanted to talk to him, but it seems like they even exclude him from the conversation. I guess he has a way of like making them care. Like if it was just him, it seems like people would want to go to him and argue it, right? But instead, like,
No, it's easier to virtue signal to your friends about how bad it is rather than actually confronting a person.
yeah, okay, that makes quite a bit of sense. Oh, so I'm just kind of going over a couple of your guys' videos just to give me a little bit of a refresher course, and I think it was the third video that you guys had together. you told him that he shouldn't have so many meta conversations, and I'd say to his credit, he's cut back on that a whole lot.
Okay.
I remember like the first time that it happened, and I got excited, even though I like that. I'm a nerd for the meta conversations. But then you also told him that he should stop telling people that he thinks that they're lying, and
Hmm.
he very much did not take that one to heart. Uh,
Hmm.
but do you, I guess the question here is like, do you think that he made the right call in dismissing that part of the advice? 'Cause it seems like it's a pretty big part of his brand now, and like a big part of the vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's bad because it makes people really defensive. Nobody's going to admit that they're lying, and it just kind of like throws off the rest of the conversation. It becomes a conversation of like who trusts who about something. I think it's probably not good.
I talked to somebody. Yeah, I talked to poly people yesterday. Uh, did I? Oh no, it was sorry. It was after that. I was talking to a friend of mine about that and why I think that it's good to do that. Like, if he says I think that you're lying to somebody, because similarly to what I would say to somebody, and because you're saying it's like dismissive of what the other person's saying and it stops things, right?
Hmm.
What would be a better way of saying that, like, I think that you're lying to me? Because when you're saying that, essentially you're saying that anything that you say that extends from the premise that I think you're lying about is going to, well, you're basically asking me, if you continue with the premise, you're basically asking me to pretend that I don't think that you're lying, even though I do. And that's like completely dismissive of like where I'm at. And then I just sort of have to like either pretend that I believe you on
Yeah,
everything. And
you just have to test their premise with some hypothetical, and then you can figure out really quickly. Don't ever assume a person is lying. Just assume that they haven't like thought through something enough. Is what I would say. So like sometimes you'll hear me in a conversation with somebody where somebody will say something like, I don't think it's ever ethical to kill a person that's not armed. I don't think that's ever ethical. If you have a gun and they don't have it, that's never like I might say like, no, I don't even think you believe that. For example, let's say that like a woman that weighs 80 pounds has a gun and she's being attacked by a guy that weighs 200 pounds. Would he be able to shoot it? Like I'll give like an example to test hypothesis. Rather than me just saying like, you're lying. I don't believe you. I'll try to give like a reasonable example that can demonstrate like a flaw in the logic is what I'll try to do.
okay, so what you're saying is we probably all do this in conversation, but it's the way that it comes off when you use the word lying that
Yeah.
people kind of lock up and get defensive about it. I
Hmm.
think I think that that's a little bit more underhanded, which I don't think is necessarily bad in a conversation when you're trying to get more out of somebody. I guess that may be why it's so difficult to convince them of that then.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I don't. Well, hold on. You think my strategy is underhanded?
well, I mean, not like necessarily in a bad way. It's just it's a little bit more manipulative than outright saying like I think that you're lying. I think that to some degree conversations have to have some like these kinds of conversations at least have to have some form of like manipulation to help guide the conversation along, especially if you're at like a weird point and the other person's not going to come around to you. But yeah, I think it's like a little bit because like you're essentially saying I think that you're lying, but you're saying it in a way that uh, they're gonna think of it differently. But it means the same thing if you say I don't even think you believe that, but
Yeah,
they
I
said
guess
it.
like I think that providing like if I provide an example and I say that I don't believe a thing, I don't think I'm being. I think when somebody is underhanded, there's like some connotation that you're concealing something there. And I'm not usually if I don't believe somebody, I'm not like concealing it. I'll be like pretty blatant about it. I think, but
Okay, then maybe just a poor choice of words.
sure.
Okay.
Wait, what's the name of the biome that has the really big jungle trees? What's that called? You don't know? Cringe. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
No, you're good. Um, so we've kind of had a like a little while here of like quote unquote like peace from the like tsunami of like major impactful videos that he's had that's been shaking people up. Which one do you think has had the most impact on the space?
I mean, the first one, the cuties thing, was probably a pretty big one. But I mean, ever since my ban from Twitch, I've been a little bit disconnected from the space, so it's hard for me to say, right?
I guess so. Um,
I
when you
haven't
say the
watched as much of like how people like react to things as much. So
do you pretty oh wait, when you're banned off of Twitch, can you not even watch Twitch?
you can, but since I can't interact with them, I don't
Okay,
tend to watch as much because like I can't like do anything. I can't hop on a stream and like chat with somebody or whatever.
that's fair. Uh, I almost streamed on Twitch. I had to like super fast set up YouTube really quick. So I almost forgot that you could have gotten me in trouble just by virtue of existing. When you say the cuties thing, do you mean like when it happened, or like when he came onto like the Twitch scene and then everybody found out that he's the cuties guy and like watched the video after the fact?
Probably that. All the conversations related to like pedophilia and bringing on like kind of pedophile guys and stuff, or not pedophile. Like, well, because what was the thing he got banned for? Was talking about the fuck. What was it? Was it the obsessive pedophile guy? Obsessive OCD, POCD, or something?
POCD, yeah, I think that's what we all
Yeah.
agree he got banned for.
Hmm.
And it was actually a woman, which I thought was like way safer. I didn't think that it would come down so hard on him for that
Hmm.
because I think that sometimes that these companies are a little bit sexist and they would work out in his benefit that for that reason.
Sure.
Um, do you do you I don't know, I guess I don't really know how to put this. I don't think you'd say you regret. Like how do you feel about after the fact making the phone comment? So I think that was a lot wilder than I expected it to be. I was watching it live.
Um, I mean, I don't regret it. I think it was a fair question, but
uh okay, wait, but really?
yeah, I think so. I think it was a fair question. I think if you're gonna play like if you're gonna be extremely edgy all the time, I mean, at some point, um, I would have to go back and I'd have to go back and watch what he said exactly. But he said something that like maybe one of us like it was something along the lines of like I don't want Shaylin to be exposed to people on the internet. I don't want her to interact with people on the internet. And I didn't know when he said that. I was like, well, wait, what do you mean by that? Like
I
how?
think he said I
What
want to
are
protect her
you?
from chat.
Yeah, but that's like that statement can go a lot of different ways. So I think it's okay to ask the difference. But I mean, like I can understand him being upset by it. I guess, but
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I guess I just thought that when you initially asked, I thought that you kind of were just asking because a chatter asked you to ask and uh doubled down on it because it was like a funny thing to do and just kind of assumed that he would take it as the like more silly kind of thing than it was. That's how it came off to me, but like I think that it's if somebody that you view as a close friend says something like that, it's just kind of hard to see it that way. So it wasn't like that you more asking for you?
no, I was genuinely curious. I wasn't sure.
But yeah, that's what I mean. So you were like asking for yourself then, right? So you did see it in chat, but then like, well, I actually want to know.
Yeah.
That's okay. Damn. I guess I could reframe it a little bit. Do you think like do you have any like reservation about having it done it live? Or is that just sort of the nature of being an online personality? If somebody's going to ask you something tough, even if they're your friend, you should do it online.
No, I mean, I think he's really out there with all this stuff. So of course I'm gonna ask it in a public setting, right?
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
would
that's
expect
fair.
people can ask me things in a public setting. I mean, like yeah.
And just to be clear too, whenever I ask any of these things, I'm not like trying to like paint you as being shitty or anything like that. This is from my understanding, so I have a good scope for the
Yeah,
video that I'm making.
no problem.
And no, not that I think it would change your answer, but just maybe how you think that I'm like coming at you. Oh
You also
yeah,
did the same thing by telling Melina not to talk to Mr. Girl. If I ever said that, it was jokingly. I'm pretty sure they talk privately, and I let him like she could talk on stream to him. I wouldn't say I let her. Like she can do what she wants. I've never told somebody that like can't talk to somebody. If I have said that, it's usually always jokingly. But
oh no, Melina gets locked in her room every night. Confirmed. No cell
yeah,
phone.
true.
Um, did you think when so like I guess what was the timeline between you getting banned from Twitch and then like him entering the scene? Like do you know like where like he was at with that? It kind of
I
shapes how I
I
move forward
I
with these
suck with
questions.
timelines, but I mean
Me too.
he got banned way after
Oh
I
yeah.
wait or well, I got banned after he entered the scene. If that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I just didn't know like how long you guys had like an overlap of existence in Twitch.
I don't remember. I'm so bad at timelines.
Yeah.
You should never ask me those questions. I have no idea.
Yeah, same. I didn't I thought for sure that he talked to Vouch before he talked to you. I thought that was the thing that spurred it on initially.
No, they maybe they'd want you to think that, but
They Vouch is they?
They Vosh's community were saying that the only reason I
Oh,
talked to Mr. Girl was to spite Vosh.
I gotcha. Okay, that's fair. That makes sense. Out of everybody, he was the only one that said no, but he said no remarkably kindly, which was
Nice.
surprising. My wife told me I was gross for asking him.
Nice. Space
Well,
wife.
agreed. Also, she'll kill me if I don't. She asked me to say hi to you. I don't. You're
Love
the
you.
only person. She said, I don't care what you say to anybody else, but you have to say hi to Destiny for me.
Gotcha.
Uh, did you think that when he entered the scene, did you feel any like I know like you made like the sort of like Amos comparison joke to him, but did you feel like any like extra responsibility or like nervousness due to the kind of topics that he was approaching? First came in like I'm like feel like I'm kind of somewhat responsible if this gets like too wild. Because I mean, when somebody comes up with like talking about pedophilia as like their initial like entry point, you kind of don't really know where it's gonna go from there, right?
No, not really. I feel like I had a decent handle on the kind of person he was. Like he seemed provocative, but he'd been doing this for like 10 years, and I don't think I'd seen any like accusation, anything weird about it. And I feel like I kind of understand like his desire to be provocative and everything. It wasn't like he was. It didn't seem like almost like genuinely seemed like kind of a pedophile. Like anybody that's arguing that like the age of consent should be 0 years old, and then giving reasons why is pretty sketch. But Max never came off that way to me.
Yeah, that's fair. So you just had genuinely like no concern about like an association at all then.
No, not really. No.
Okay. It seems like a lot of people have like a degree of concern about association with him now, and I think his stuff's kind of gotten more chilled out. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
the only thing I'd be like, the only concern I'd have is that he'll say something like too edgy or whatever that'll get him banned. But I don't think he'll like actually like rape a kid or something.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it's pretty crazy. I've like people have called me like said like I'm a pedophile supporter and an enabler.
Based.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's weird that people have that perspective at least with well, I guess it's not that weird. People are fucking nuts. Uh, did you think at any point that you're gonna see like the not so much like Twitch like banning him or whatever? That's pretty unpredictable. But like that like the mob was gonna take Max down and he was just gonna get canceled over any of the controversies that did crop up.
I mean, yeah, of course. I kind of thought that would happen constantly, right? I mean, for the type of material that he does, yeah. But I'm pretty sure even he thought that, right?
Um, I think he did his best to be prepared for it. So
Sure.
yeah, so it was at least a concern. Why do you think that's not like what's happening? He seems to be
Why?
like growing
Well,
despite
yeah, but
all
he
the
also got
reasons.
canceled off of Twitch, right?
Sure, but that was Twitch though. Usually when somebody gets canceled, it's not like just the platform. It's like an enormous consensus of people saying like we don't want you here, and they're the ones pushing for it super super hard. It seemed like it was that one video that's just sort of did them in. It could have been like one wave of like reports that did it.
Well, when you cancel somebody who is like not part of an organization or a team or anything, like really the only thing you can try to do is get him like banned from platforms. And as long as he's not getting like breaking the 2 hours on YouTube, it's not like they can't really cancel him there, right? Like I can't really be canceled. I can only just be banned from platforms because I don't work with teams or sponsors or anything really, except for Gorilla Mine. Check out !Gorilla in chat. Get those supplements, guys.
No more Surfshark.
No what?
No more Surfshark.
Oh yeah, Surfshark too. Surfshark.deal/destiny.
There you go. Uh, so I guess yeah, there was like Twitch, but usually when you see this kind of thing happen, it would be like I wouldn't expect somebody saying the things that he said to be able to be on YouTube. I wouldn't expect him to be able to like stay alive on Twitter. And it seems like he's doing these things very well. Like I just think like almost anybody else just making the cuties review, you're fucking done. And
Well,
then
again, like done how? Like it just the only thing that matters or the only thing that's gonna like happen is you get kicked off of teams and stuff. Like you don't get banned. You don't get banned for being canceled unless it's like political. And he just does like edgy content. Like yeah, I don't. He can't get canceled off YouTube like that, right? Unless he breaks the TOS somehow.
yeah, how much more lenient is the YouTube TOS?
Significantly, because they'll only ban so far. Maybe it'll change in the future, but they'll only ban you for like actual fucked up shit. Whereas like the I think the Twitch moderation staff are way more kind of like activist and like heavy handed. Whereas for YouTube, it's just like, are you breaking like rules, threatening people, et cetera, et cetera? They're not going to ban you from like the wrong politics
I
as
got you.
much.
Yeah, I
Like YouTube probably doesn't even have like actual moderation staff. It's all done by like bots and algorithms and shit.
yeah, I imagine that's like bound to change with like the way they're shifting their focus onto live streaming and adding all like the Twitch elements to YouTube. Well, at
Yeah,
least I'm
maybe.
worried
I think
about it.
there's a lot of work that goes into doing shit like that. I don't know if YouTube wants to hire the people for it.
Yeah, I think they're dipping their toe into like moving it in more the same direction as Twitch is, but like they're
For
doing
live
it
streaming,
slowly.
yeah, but for
Yeah,
having like activists like SJW moderation, I don't know if YouTube is heading in that direction. We'll see. Twitch is like making a concerted effort to be like, we're friendly towards all these people. We've got like a trust and safety council with a deer can on it, blah blah blah. Like I don't see YouTube moving in that direction. They might, but
that's
I haven't
fair.
seen that.
This wasn't originally on my list of questions for you, but after I had a rougher stream with Poly People last night, and boy,
What is poly people? What does that mean?
she's a Twitch streamer. She is a trans woman, and she was pretty tough and intense, but like fine. But her chat was very very brutal, and I the whole message that I got from the chat was that, and from Poly People too, but was that Mr. Girl is like there's no way around the fact that he's transphobic. And
Oh,
so
sure.
when I try to avoid answering that question like 4 times by just saying like do you think he's transphobic? Like, well, can you tell me what you mean when you say transphobic? Because there seems to be like two very different ways that people mean this, and it's do you think he's transphobic? So I had to give like a whole preamble so that way I wasn't getting taken out of context when I answer that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so then eventually I just had to like read the dictionary definition. Like, do I think he fits? Yeah, he could probably fit this, but I don't think that's what people mean. It's like, do you think that would do you think that he's transphobic in like either of the senses? Like, I don't think that either of us would say that he's transphobic in the respect that he thinks that trans people are like lower people or like he's superior to them or anything like that. But like
I mean,
in the
I would definitely say he's transphobic. Yeah, of
in
course.
in, in
I
that
mean,
respect,
well, I mean, he doesn't even believe trans people are real. I think that's how I would classify it, right?
um, I did you see any of his older stuff about trans people, or
No,
just
why
like
would I
the
watch his
transfer
older
culture?
stuff when I have like current stuff?
Well, because I feel like I find little bits of things that he says that sort of reinforces the idea that he that he thinks that there's a pretty small percentage of people that have like what would be traditionally defined as a trans experience.
I don't think he
Um,
believes in a trans experience at all. I think he just does. I think he just flat out doesn't think that. Because the last time we were on a panel together and I was asking about it, I don't think he's like vitriolic about it, which is probably, which I think is good. I don't
yeah,
think he's like a horrible person for it, but like he fundamentally doesn't believe that trans people are a real thing, or if they are, that's just like a thing that everybody kind of suffers with, and it's comparable to any other kind of like delusion about yourself that you just have to kind of get over it. But I'm pretty sure he's completely and totally against things like any type of gender affirming care or surgeries, hormone treatment, anything like that. He thinks all of that is like a bad idea because he
I
thinks
think
it's
that's
reinforcing
true.
people's delusions. Yeah. So well, I mean, well, if we're gonna have any kind of definition of transphobic, like that would probably it would probably fall under that, right?
Well, okay, so yeah, I think like the dictionary definition of like, do I think that he has any prejudices that he brings into like his ideology about trans people? I would say that's pretty hard to argue against. But I think
Sure. Well, I mean, about any definition. Like I said, I think that he's not like vitriolic. Like I don't think he's gonna be on Twitter like screeching like slurs on trans people and stuff. And I don't think that he's gonna say like we need to like kill trans people or whatever. But he doesn't really believe that trans people exist as a concept, which I would argue is kind of trans. Like if you're like I don't think gay people are real. I think they just pretend to like other people because they're scared of women or something. Like I mean that's kind of homophobic, but I mean
yeah, I guess maybe maybe something got lost in translation. I took it to understand that while people might have what would be considered a trans experience, that the ways that we go about it, fixing it and addressing it are wrong. And it's that if society treated them differently and didn't make them feel bad for expressing and presenting and behaving in the way that would be perceived as the gender of their identification, that that would be the correct way to go about it. And I guess it's hard for me to understand why you would make that prescription if you didn't think that there was something going on that could be addressed by it.
well, it sounds like he thinks that like trans people just have kind of like problems with how they perceive themselves, and that if we treated them a little differently, that the transness would like go away.
I don't think that it would necessarily go away, but I don't think
Well, but
it's
that's
not
what
really
I don't
something
know.
we can
I don't care,
test.
but it's
Yeah,
not. We're not talking about what you think. We're talking about what he thinks, right?
yeah. Well, I can't really defend. I was just trying to. Well, I'm trying to ask these questions to get a better understanding.
Oh, sure.
And
I mean, yeah.
if there's anybody who has a better understanding of Mr. Girl than my obsessive Mr. Girl watching ass, it'd probably be you, if for no other reason than just being able to put these things into perspective.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean,
Um,
like I said, I don't think he's like vitriolic or like hateful or anything, but I mean, like, doesn't seem like he thinks trans people are a real thing. So
Yeah, I had said in response to that I think that he's wrong about trans people, but for like the right reasons. I don't think that it's coming from like hate.
okay.
Like, let me put it this way. To me, it matters a lot
Mhm.
if somebody's coming from like in a logical place. Like they didn't really try to suss it out. They didn't really
Yeah, me
like
too.
think
This
about
is why
things
I'm not
deeply.
gonna like screech at him about it, even though I think his view is kind of bad because I don't think it comes from a place of like hatred. Like when it comes to conservatives, I think a lot of conservatives fucking hate like a lot of LGBT people or trans people. So I'm probably gonna have like screaming matches with them. I don't think Max hates them. I just think he disagrees that they're kind of like a real phenomenon. So it's like a different type of thing.
Yeah, maybe I don't have the fullest picture, but I don't like the conclusions for sure. And thank you. You said almost exactly what I was trying to say very hard last night. That if something comes from a place of hatred, it's not the same as having an internal process and really like breaking it down and thinking things out and just being wrong. Th-
Sure, you got to be really careful when you're talking to trans people about that though, because like a lot of harm can come to you from a place of love and compassion from somebody else, right?
sure. Yeah, I agree. I just say I well, it's more like a broad statement too that I'm not I I'm okay. I'm a lot more okay with somebody being wrong if it came from the right place than if it's coming from like the wrong reason for being wrong.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but
Uh,
like it might be the case that I have a lot of compassion for a gay person and I want them to be the happiest and healthiest they can be. So I'm gonna like hook their brain up to electrodes and shock them until they're not gay anymore, right? That could be something that I do out of an immense amount of love for the person. But I mean, it doesn't really matter insofar as they're concerned. They're getting electroshock therapy out of being gay, right? So they don't really care. That's all I'm saying. You just have to consider that even if it's coming from a place of like love or care or whatever, if your opinions are diverging dramatically from that group of people, um, doesn't matter where it's coming from. It's coming from a place of love or not, you know.
yeah, I think the framing that you just gave it makes a lot more sense to me.
Sure.
Hmm. Yeah, it's pretty
Spruces can
interesting.
grow two by two, right, guys? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I think I was just kind of processing what you just said because
Hmm.
that's a pretty good point. Um,
Like a lot of parents, there are probably a lot of genuinely good parents that love their kids and they beat the shit out of them because of it. Like they got beat when they were kids. They know they have to beat their kids. That's just how it goes, you know.
yeah, that's true. All right, I think you kind of moved me in a different perspective, and then I'll have to think about it a little bit more to uh come all the way around to that. But yeah, I think that what you're saying is absolutely correct.
Okay.
I guess I don't know if I still hold the same position that I care about you being wrong for the right reasons.
Well, no, 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 no. Being
But
wrong for the right reasons is still really important, or right for the wrong reasons. The motivation is still really important, but it's just there's two sides to that equation, and we consider them differently based on what our goal is. Like, I would rather try to convince somebody like Max that trans people are real than like a conservative that just fucking dogmatically hates trans people, right? Because Max, I would hope, given the proper set of like data, is going to be convincible, even though he said he would never change his mind. But we'll ignore that. I would hope that I'm able to convince him otherwise. Whereas like a Republican or conservative that just fucking hates gay people, that person or hates LGBT people, like he's not changing because he doesn't care about the data or he doesn't care what's right or wrong. He just hates gay people, right? So the reasons are still important, but
yeah, I guess I just meant insofar as like how much value that has, because that's the other thing that you said is kind of where I was at. If you're wrong for the right reasons, then you're probably movable at some point.
yeah, sure, yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Um,
So
but if
for
you're
arguing with other people, having people that are wrong for better reasons than other people is good. But when it comes time to like vote at the end of the day for what happens to people, it doesn't really matter why you hold the position you hold. Like you're going to be on the same side of the people trying to fuck you over. So that's just all that matters.
yeah, I guess one's a lost cause and the other one isn't.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, if at least the person I'm talking to, I think that I'm right,
Mhm.
then okay. What kind of value do you see in like Max as like a friend? Because like I know you've described like your transactional view of relationships a lot. Like how does that like kind of fit into that?
This is really unsatisfying to people, but I like people that are really interesting and challenge me to think more. And insofar as that, I think he's a pretty good person doing that. He's got a really interesting perspective. He's fun to talk to. That's enough for me.
Okay, and well, is that all that it is? Like, do you think that if you had like a if you were in like an offline voice call and you had like a personal issue that it was like bothering you, does that like do you see like that kind of friendship is kind of there? be the kind
I'm
of
a
person
bad
to
person to ask
open
with
an ear
probably because
to?
I don't usually talk to anybody about like personal issues like that. I'm just not that kind of person.
Oh, nobody at all? You just
Not usually, no.
you just sort of suffer with it by yourself?
I don't usually suffer with personal issues, so I don't find it necessary to talk to people about them.
Oh shit. That's the most
Um,
fucking giga chat ass shit I've ever heard in my life.
no, it's
I
not
don't
Giga
get
Chat.
sad
It's
from
just it is.
problems.
No, 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 it's not Giga Chat. It is what it is. Some people find it really helpful and meaningful to talk to other people about their experiences and get feedback on it. I'm just not one of those people. But that's everybody's different.
Uh okay, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that before. Um do you think that by me making this project, do you think that there's any like I'm opening the door to like any kind of risk of like people being super fucking crazy at me?
Yeah,
No
you
one would
probably
know better
always
than
are,
you.
right? Yeah, of course. People will
Yeah, but
probably attack you if you publish a video on it and everything. Yeah. But I mean, it's probably not gonna be that bad. But who knows?
yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Because I don't think I ran a big risk of like I did an interview with my buddy Key of Weird. He just does music stuff, and I don't think there was anybody like he has some people that are mad at him about a music review take, but I don't think
Mhm.
anybody was gonna come after me because I talked to him about his life, you know.
Sure, probably not.
But whereas like talking about Mr. Girl and his journey seems like people seem to be viewing it as me enabling and supporting pedophilia or
Mm-hmm.
transphobia. This is
Yeah,
a
more
little bit
controversial
different.
for sure.
Yeah. Uh, so why do you think that? So like when I first started doing this project, I cast a really wide net. I sort of made a list of people that I thought had a good perspective on Mr. Girl and would be really interesting to include in the video. And I expected basically nobody to say yeah. Why do you think so many people are like so eager to talk to me about this? Do they think that Mr. Girl is that interesting? Do they like they have that much like that there's a lot to add to the narrative about him, or do you think that it's just like people like just like trying to fill up time? There's like fill up their time slots on their stream because I think
I
that
have
gives me.
no idea.
Uh,
I would have to. I don't know why anybody would say yes or no. Like it could be for a variety of different reasons.
so just trying to figure out um I think it's really hard for me to figure out how the average content creator thinks in terms of Mr. Girl's value to the space, because I think it's really hard for them to give straight answers about it. Like I have to get like a 20-minute long answer to really like for them to like really express what they want me to think that they feel, you know?
Sure. I think it's just interesting. I think that's a big thing. A lot of people maybe won't admit it, but people that are interesting are fun to talk to. People that challenge like preconceived notions and that will do it with a lot of conviction. I think those people are generally pretty fun to chat to or chat with.
I think that makes sense. So that's on the like the content creator side. Why do you think that his well, sorry, I guess I'll say what I think first. I've noticed that he has an extremely high level of dedication from his fans,
Mhm.
and he probably couldn't say or do anything to lose them. In fact, they'd probably double down on if he just came out and said like some like extra crazy shit that nobody would agree with. I feel like at least half that audience would be like, "Nope, he's still right. I don't give a fuck. If you say anything wrong, fuck you." Like, what do you think about him inspires that level of dedication that I think most people don't really have? So a lot of
It's
people
hard
get
to put into words, but he definitely has like that type of like magnetic personality that would draw people fanatically to him.
like that X factor.
Yeah, I don't know how to say exactly what it is, but like I could tell almost immediately by watching his stuff. Like, yeah, he's definitely this kind of person for sure. Absolutely.
Interesting. Okay. Do you think that the kind of content that he's making helps people?
You'd have to ask his fans. Some of them, I imagine. I think some people have said as much, so probably.
Yeah, like I personally was the first person to call in for the second time in his show and say like, yeah, I went to therapy because he told me to. That got me
Hmm.
into psychiatry. I got meds, and my life is like 100 times better because of it. But
Well,
I didn't
seems like
know.
the answer is probably yes, then, yeah.
Well, the reason I asked that question is because like I don't know how far out that extends. I don't know what other people see. I can only kind of gauge from my experience. And if I want to include that in my video, I don't want to be saying like, well, obviously I interacted with him and now my life is a lot better because of it. Therefore, this is what's happening. So I don't know. Like You said that
I
you
mean,
think a couple of
I
people have
can't
heard
know,
it.
right? There's no way. If you're discounting your own experience, I can't know for everybody else's
Well,
experience.
I'm
So.
not discounting it for myself. I'm just saying, like, for a broader idea. Well, you said you thought you heard some other people saying something about it, so
Mhm.
I was
Yeah, I think I've seen those comments like on his videos. Sometimes I'll check and stuff, and I think I see people say that. So it seems like that's probably the case, and it does help some people. Yeah.
okay. I need to start digging through them comments then. Yeah. Do you think how would I want to phrase this? Do you think the kind of videos that he's making, especially like considering the more controversial things, do you think it's like a good thing that he's doing things the way that he is? And if so, why?
I mean, he's getting popularity, which is always good, and I think he's still pretty strictly adhering to the vision that he has, so that's probably good as well. So, insofar as those two things are concerned, yeah, it seems like he's approaching things in a good way.
I guess let me reframe that. Do you think it's good for audiences or like I guess in a like a goofy it sounds goofy way to say but like society at large, like do you think like the ideas and the way that he presents them are good ideas to put out there, like are those ideas getting put out there doing good for like the world?
I disagree with him on a lot of what he says, but I mean, I think it's always good to challenge people's ideas and stuff. So I'm always supportive of people challenging whatever the status quo is. I think it's okay generally.
Okay, what are some of those big disagreements?
I don't know. Fuck, I'd have to go back and minor conversations. It feels
Did
like
you
we have it feels like we have a fuck, I don't know if somebody checking that. We feel like we have a lot of like differences in terms of how we approach like resolving disputes in relationships and stuff like that, but I don't remember anything specifically offhand.
Yeah. So that's kind of relevant to this. So now that things have sort of settled and like he's given a ton of extra commentary on it and like everybody in the world's talked about it like 20 times over. Do you think that do you think his interactions with Shaylin are abusive? Like particularly like the real doll?
They feel a little bit to me, but people get really mad. I've said a million times, like I don't think he's like an abuser, but I think that we can. I think I probably do things sometimes that are abusive, but I don't think they're good or healthy. But that's like a conversation that we probably never agree on, like the way that he handles those conversations. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there to me there's a difference between like sometimes being an asshole in a situation and being abusive. And I
Yeah,
feel
sure.
like
You can
some of
say
the
he's an asshole, I guess. Yeah, if you want. Sure.
yeah, because like I know like I can be a dick sometimes, but I don't think that that's necessarily like abuse. I
Sure.
think it's okay to be shitty sometimes.
Well, I don't
Um,
think it's okay to be shitty. We should never want to be shitty, but I mean, sometimes we are. And if we
sorry,
are, it doesn't
I
sound
think
like we're abusers.
not saying you should like aspire to be like a shitty asshole to somebody, but I think that it's very understandable and very normal and human to have moments where you're not able to uh, maintain diplomacy due to like just factors of life or like difficult situations, and it's excusable and relatively normal to sometimes be an asshole.
Sure, there can be a lot of things that are excusable or normal, but it doesn't make them like it doesn't mean we shouldn't try to get rid of them or we shouldn't condemn them, right? Like
Yeah,
there are
that
circumstances where like child rape is like excusable or well not excusable, but it's like we understand like why somebody would become a child rapist, but that doesn't mean that we should like accept it or say like, oh well, sometimes it happens, it's okay, like we can do this, like we should still try to get rid of the people that are abusing children and shit, right?
well, that's why I coupled it with like normal. It's just like something that everybody's going to have. It's not like the same. Like I don't think everybody's going to be abusive to like their
Um,
partner,
sure,
unless we're like going to broaden the definition of abuse to just like regular interactions of like disagreement and stuff.
sure.
Okay. So, which of those things? What of those things do you think would be abusive, or is it just not fresh enough in your mind?
What would be or wouldn't be?
Yeah, the things that you're saying that you two think that he does that like, you think probably could be abusive. What
Um,
would
I'd
that
have to
be?
go back and watch, but it felt like some of the ways that he was accusing Shaylin of like not providing enough space for him in the conversation. It felt like, and this could be me projecting my own relationship issues. Is it felt like he wanted Shaylin to do a lot of work in terms of taking care of both of their mental states while he was upset, which is a feeling I feel like sometimes my partner puts on me. So maybe that was a feeling that I had, but obviously again we disagree on that. So.
Yeah. Um, I guess I don't. I think that sometimes in relationships, like one person's gonna have to be the caretaker for both people. I think that's pretty normal. Well, it's not like super fortunate. Like if somebody's having a tough time, it's usually one of the two have to step up and say, "Okay, I'm gonna manage my own shit so that I can help you manage your shit here." That's kind of like the really nice thing about having somebody to like have your back. I don't know if it's
Um,
bad.
yeah, I guess it just depends on your perspective.
Yeah, and I guess if the other person's saying like I don't know, I guess it kind of freaks me out to think that if you say that that's what you need in the moment, that that's like somehow more abusive.
Or we can just say asshole, I guess. I wouldn't consider it abusive, but
Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, I could be projecting my own problems. This is stuff that I'm still figuring out in my life. Like, I don't. This is something I think I might have argued with Max about this recently. I don't think it's ever okay to make your partner responsible for both of your emotional states when you're mad at your partner. I think that should never ever happen in a relationship. Um, but that's just me.
No, when I heard you said that playing on my TV, and I thought that was one of the smartest things I've ever heard you say in regards to relationships. It's usually if I'm mad at anybody, I'll say like we need to talk about this later because you're usually a lot shittier when you're mad,
Sure.
and it's hard to take that shit back. But sometimes I feel like it can just be hard to control it too. Um, which isn't the same as saying that you should do it. Do you think that like he's playing a character? And sorry, I always I always say that before framing it correctly. Do you think that Max gets on camera and plays a character that we could label like Mr. Girl, insofar as
No, I think it's
like
pretty
he's
genuine.
acting? Okay. So I have a
I
lot of
think he
people
might he
say,
might ham it up a little bit for stream, but I think for the most part, I think it's pretty genuine.
yeah, I don't even know if I say like hamming it up for stream even separates it because like if I go to work and like all my favorite like coworkers are there, I might just be like a more hammed up version of
Yeah,
myself.
exactly. Yeah.
So okay, I think we're on the same page on that one. Uh, have you watched like how much of his content have you actually watched?
Whatever I see on stream, not too much. I don't watch too much of anybody's content though. I usually just don't have time. My
I
time is like, yeah.
I know I do know that. Do you have anything like you particularly enjoyed of his?
Um, I can't remember all of his music stuff. I thought was really, really, really well done.
His album fucking slaps. That's right. There's like
Hmm.
10 of us and we need you. You got to convince him to press a vinyl of this thing.
Yeah,
How cool
I have
how cool it is.
I
You
think I've
what?
got his tape and CD in my shelf.
You do. Uh
Mhm.
I like wouldn't it be really cool to have a nice fucking vinyl sitting right next to him?
We'll
Have
probably
have
sell like
three
10 of
Mr.
them.
Girls?
It's
Well,
it's gonna be a lot
I said there was
because
10 of us.
oh, you did say that. True. Yeah. I just don't know if that's worth all that. Like nobody can play them, and yeah, but I
We
mean, I
we
guess
need
it'd
a
be a fun collectible to have.
and we need a pink boundaries vinyl. That way you could have three Mr. Girls in a chair staring at you from your shelf. If
True.
one of them's really big, judging. Uh, so I kind of didn't really know if I wanted to ask you about this one for a while, but
Uh,
oh wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's fine. So when the whole Dr. K thing was going on, um, like I think every it was like one of the hottest topics of the year. Everybody talked about it, and I think everybody really looked towards you to figure out what you thought about it. And like I know you're not blind to that. Like I even heard people say like, "Well, I guess we'll just wait to see what Destiny says."
mhm,
And uh, unless I'm mistaken, other than like the dosha and like Ayurvedic medicine takes that you gave, you didn't
mhm.
really say anything about it. And there was the video where like Dan brought Mr. Girl in, and they were kind of like trying to like pin you down and say like, well, what did you think when you and you're like, well, when I watch it, and when I watch it, then I'll be able to give a take on it. But I haven't watched it yet, so I can't. Did you ever end up watching that video?
I've watched a few sections of it, but
Uh,
the thing is, it's not a topic that I have very strong opinions about, like ethics of like therapy. So I mean, like even if I watch the full thing, I don't know if I'll have strong opinions about it. I think it seems, based on everything I've seen so far, and it's probably hard to convince me otherwise. It seems to be the case that uh, Dr. K is probably acting with some impropriety. Um, that doesn't seem to be like that contentious, but I just don't have like super strong feelings about it.
so are you saying like that's the reason why you just avoided the discourse on it was because of like without really strong opinions, you didn't really want to say anything and
Yeah,
try
I
to
don't want to like
push.
throw my hat into the ring on something that I don't like have like the strongest of feelings about.
Okay, I think that was kind of hard for me and like a lot of people to grasp because you like that's like the biggest thing I haven't seen you touch ever. I think
Yeah,
I
I just don't feel too.
yeah,
It
you
seems
know
like
that's
Dr.
that's
K probably
fair.
like acted with impropriety, but yeah, I don't have like strong opinions on everything that happened. I think people probably expect because I was like friends with Rickful that I'm gonna have like some huge attachment to like Dr. K being involved in his suicide or whatever. But I understand that it's hard, I guess, for some people to understand. Like, as somebody that knew Rickful fairly intimately for a while, like that dude was always on a like timeline of killing himself. Whether Dr. K would have talked to him or not, whether Dr. K would have committed him or not, like he needed to find something to fix him, and like I don't know if he could have ever found that. So like I don't think that Dr. K was like responsible for his death. He probably could have made a call maybe and gotten him committed at some point, but I mean maybe he would have delayed for a little bit Reckful killing himself, but that was like that dude was super mentally fucked and like very miserable. I don't think we were ever like saving that guy long term.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a person to make any super strong claims about like like how much longer could his life have been. I might have some opinions about like what might have been better courses of actions, but that's
Hmm.
that's with me with having the amount of information that I have. Um, so I don't know. Do you know who Dr. Killpatient is?
Oh
Have you
yeah,
heard that?
he's some
Okay.
guy that thinks that I was responsible for killing Reckful. I think yeah.
Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to bring up like I think by not saying anything about it, like some people are getting like really fucking crazy about it. He reached out to me on I think Saturday, and yeah, that's how he approached me. He talked to Mr. Girl for a little bit on the hotline,
Hmm.
and he's like, "I'm going to prove to you," and like the way he worded it to me, I steel manned it back to him. Said, "So basically, you're saying that you have information that basically makes Destiny guilty of murdering Reckful." And he said, "Yes," and that was his stance for like the vast majority of this video. And he showed me a bunch of clips, and I was not convinced by it in any way. But I think people are getting it's getting really weird. Uh, the like how people are like framing you about it. So I didn't know if I didn't know to what level you were aware of that, and like how just sort of like I think that maybe like the you not speaking on it has maybe done some disservice to you because of that.
I don't think very many people are seriously considering that I was the one that caused Reckful to die. But I mean, if people are, I mean, they're welcome to have their own opinions about it. But I mean, I'm never gonna like seriously like be on trial for why another person killed themselves. Like that's yeah. If I was to get like more emotionally invested in it, that would be like a ridiculous proposition that like it's my fault for killing the guy that introduced me to drugs by having him do drugs or whatever. Like, but I think a lot of it also comes to like a fundamental misunderstanding of how psychedelic drugs work, why suicidal people are suicidal, and like how suicidal people kill themselves. Because that Dr. Killpatient guy seems like a guy that doesn't know very much about psychedelics, and he thinks that like
Yeah,
Reckful was on like some manic psychedelic trip and just like threw himself out a window. And he keeps harkening back to this false idea that like people will do like LSD and while they're tripping they commit suicide. That's like an incredibly rare thing, but he seems to think it happens all the time. So. Mm.
yeah. I kind of well. So my whole approach to him is like, well, if you're gonna tell me this, I don't care how crazy you are. I feel like I have a moral obligation to try to hear you out because
Sure.
that's a big thing to say. But when he would send me like data on something, or he'd like when he'd send me like a link to something, it seems
Mhm.
like I could find like either it doesn't say what he says it says, or I could immediately pull up something that says like, well, like this isn't the case. And
Sure.
I think he has like a really like an overly generalized like he can find one thing and say that there's a consensus about something.
Yeah, of course.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so I guess I if you didn't know, I thought it was at least important for me to say something to you. And I thought a really long time about like the different reasons why you might not have talked about that, and that honestly never even entered my mind. You've tackled so many really big ideas and done like a lot of like homework on them that I guess I would have just assumed otherwise. But that's probably like the best answer I could have imagined. That I don't think you're lying when I say best answer. That's like probably the best reason to not get involved in something like that.
So they don't take it seriously.
No. The Rockville Dr. K, because I'm saying like the Dr. Kill patient seems to be like a product of you not like taking a public stance or like watching the video and addressing it.
Oh,
It
he
leaves
thinks I'm scared
people.
that I would like incriminate myself or something, or
Well, I just think that when something like that happens, that's that big, and as far as I probably watched your content for like 5 years, like pretty damn regularly, and
Hmm.
never seen you like not hop on the biggest thing because why wouldn't you? Like
Oh no,
that's your
that's happened
job.
pretty often. I didn't talk about Ukraine Russia initially when it happened because I just didn't know enough about it. There's been a lot of like breaking news stuff that people get upset at me because like why isn't Destiny getting 50,000 viewers streaming this like vouches and blah blah blah. Like people get mad at me for shit like that all the time. There's a lot of like breaking news stuff that if I don't know enough about it or I don't know what's going, I just won't say shit about it because I don't know and I don't want to like give a dumb opinion or something because I'm like not educated on the topic enough to speak on it.
I guess it felt a little bit different than breaking news, like
Hmm.
because this was like this was kind of like a combination of like Twitch drama and like somewhat personal to you as well, and like just everybody was talking about it because like the
Oh,
Russia
fair
Ukraine
maybe.
thing,
Hmm.
like I was actually remarkably surprised at how few people like comparatively were talking about it to what I would have expected.
Hmm.
Like really getting into the dirt of it. I think it was like Stardust and Zonia were like the ones like really going hard with Ukraine. Like some people would like mention something crazy that happened and like kind of meme about like the lady with the sunflower seeds or something, but it wasn't like big time coverage. There was like for like maybe like a week or something. Like people kind of talked about or I mean, it just mostly seemed like memes, like making fun of Hassan for making like the weird statements about Russia not going invading and then being like dead ass wrong. Those seem to be the kinds of things. So I guess it didn't seem like the kind of thing that holds as much water in the space as
Hmm.
like it just seemed like Twitch was on fire for 2 weeks when it came to the Dr. K
Sure.
video.
Was I out of town when it dropped too, or no? Do you know?
No, you were playing League. You were
Oh,
straight
then
playing
I.
League, and like to the point to where I think it was Dan was like if you don't stop playing League, I don't know. He just made a lot of threats to you about playing League, and I
Okay.
get it. It's a bad drug, and most of us have been there. I know how it goes, but I just think that when that happened, and then you like, it just seems like there's like a this huge piece of content over here, and during that time was when like, because like you never have like low viewers, but like when it's all league all day, it like takes a hit. So it just seemed like there was a lot of incentive to cover it, and then when you chose to not, it just made a lot of people like suspicious.
Okay.
And even being like a really big fan of yours, like I had like the idea, like I don't know, like like maybe Dr. K had something on him, or like maybe he had like invested money into Healthy Gamer GG. Well, if I'm just breaking down like possibilities, and it never
Hmm.
even entered my mind that like maybe he just does like isn't very well informed on this, which I think is
Gotcha.
like a reasonable and responsible position to have. But it
Okay.
didn't. I think I got some uh, uh, humility, and maybe I'm not that analytical as I thought I was.
Okay.
I think that maybe I'm not the only person that kind of like was in that zone of thought. So maybe there might be some more super crazy conspiracy theories about why you chose not to do that.
Gotcha. All right.
Well, I always do that. What do you think that people misunderstand about Mr. Girl the most? Like in terms of like both content creators and audiences? Because like I know like you.
I think it's similar to me that people will attack the provocative statement rather than the underlying thought about the statement, and then everything just becomes about the provocative statement, which is kind of annoying.
Oh, so it's just sort of like instead of like they're thinking that like basically he is the energy behind like the shock rather than he has a reason for using the shocking language.
Maybe, or like instead of it dealing with like interesting conversations about like age of attraction and stuff like that, it just becomes he must be a pedophile because he likes children or something. And it's like, okay, well,
Oh, sure. So like yeah, like you seem really interested in this you seem really interested in this subject matter. I think that's kind of weird. That kind of argument. That's where
yeah,
people's minds are
basically, yeah.
going. I
Hmm.
got you. Yeah, that's the dumbest fucking things you can say to somebody, I think. Unless I don't know, like maybe if he has like a bunch of like articles pinned all over your wall and like I don't know. I think you'd have to take it to a really far extreme to stop and wonder why somebody's doing that if they're engaging with it in like in an intellectual way.
Hmm.
So is the short answer that people are really fucking stupid?
Just that people are too keen to engage with the hyperbolic statement and then assassinate on that rather than like dealing with the like underlying message or subject of what's being addressed, basically. Yeah.
I gotcha. Um so like outside of the space of like content creator, like what do you think of Max as a person?
I don't really know him like as well personally to be able to say. Like we haven't had much. Like he seems like maybe he'd be an okay guy, but I don't know. We never like hung out before or done anything like playing games before or anything. So
Oh, so you guys never played on the Rust server? He seemed pretty
no,
confident about applying to be on it and that he was gonna fucking knock it out of the park on that like application process.
well, we never got that far. So
Oh shit. That's we found the time that Mr. Girl lied on stream. We got
wow.
him. We got him, boys. No, okay. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, do you think, well, I guess if you don't think he's playing a character. Um do you think that there's a pretty big misunderstanding in how like sensitive that people think that he is? I guess you haven't watched a lot of his stuff. There seems to be like a lot of like a there's a lot of videos where it seems like he's like close to tears that seems pretty genuine, and I think that's missed a lot. Like do you notice any of that like real like emotional presenting? Because I think a lot of people meme about him like faking having his heart on his sleeve, but it always seemed really genuine to me.
Yeah, I don't
Do
think
you
he
get
fakes
that?
it. I think he's a pretty emotional person. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was somebody else's answer too. Why do you think that he's or what do you think people misunderstand about him the most? And that was that he's really a sensitive person. And I think he even goes so far as to say it a couple times. And I just don't
Yeah, I
think that
think
it
so. Yeah.
clicks. Um, what do you do you get a lot of shit from your audience when you stream with him? I hear a lot that your audience is like really split on Max.
Yeah, they're split on Max and Brittany were two people I picked up at roughly the same time, and people are very split on both of them. Yeah.
um, yeah. How hard was it to try to manage a conversation between him and Brittany? That shit seemed really wild.
Yeah, pretty difficult. I mean, they both obviously have like dramatically different ways they view the world. So
Yeah. How do you did you go into that with a plan?
no, I just usually listen to people and see if I can play translator as well as I can.
I gotcha. Because I don't. Do you think that the interaction you had that they had between each other when you were moderating it, do you think that went like good?
I mean, it went as well as it could have. I mean, it is what it is.
Do you think do you think that you being there like kind of like helped nudge it along in the right direction?
I mean, I'd hope a little bit, yeah, but
Yeah, it
I
was
mean, there's only
definitely
so
a
much I
rough
can do
one.
when it comes to like people. Like, obviously, they have like fundamental disagreements on how they view the world and stuff. So
Yeah, it seemed like you almost we almost got all the way there to where there was an understanding, and then it just sort of like exploded at the end.
yeah, maybe yeah.
It's like one of those like, all right, we disarmed the bomb, and then like the bomb just started ticking back down to zero and blew up.
Yeah, maybe yeah.
It was
But I mean,
it was a toughie.
it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I suppose so. Do you think that like I don't know, do you know what's going on with the future projects that he has going on?
Nope.
Oh, okay. He's I think we're moving towards we're like he's making more progress towards the pedophile narrative video. Do you
Okay.
think that and I know I think we've like kind of answered it, but I guess I'd just like to get a little better understanding. Do you think like that's a responsible thing to put out, given the takes that he
Um,
has?
sure. I have
Okay.
no problem with them talking about that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either.
hmm
Um, do you think that there's any credibility to the fears that people have when you put out a video about like a pedophile narrative when the things that you're saying are mostly in service of making sure that we are more careful in how we deal with
No,
people
I don't
that
think you're
kind of
gonna
have these
like.
kind of issues?
I don't think you're gonna like create pedophiles or something. I think it's fine.
Okay, I actually think that maybe the bigger danger is that people will get so mad about it that there'll be more the people that engage with that content that are very in that mindset that think that he might create more pedophiles just might be more aggressive towards them as a reaction. That would probably be the worst thing I
Maybe.
could imagine,
I mean,
which
people already
is
are super aggressive towards pedophiles, so it's hard to imagine it could get any worse. But
well, it's just sort of that like choking feeling like this is like the left. I told you they all just want everybody to be able to fuck kids and animals and you know it's all going our country's going downhill. Like just like a symbol of like that kind of a thing, which I don't think is what's happening myself, but I think it's
mhm.
that would probably be the scariest thing I think that could come out of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you think that where he's at and being on YouTube that there's like a lot of room for like big time growth? I don't know. Like, did when you switched over to YouTube, like how bad is that?
I'd already been dual streaming on YouTube because I figured I was going to get banned at some point, so it was okay for me. Yeah, there's
Did you
always room for growth on YouTube. Yeah.
did you maintain pretty much what you had? Because I have a hard time of like remembering when he made the jump of
hmm
like how much smaller it was. I know it's growing because I see the numbers going up. Like I'm there for damn near every stream
hmm
for moderation purposes, and so like I'm keeping an eye on that number. Uh, I guess I you would know way better than probably almost anybody the difference in between like the metrics for growth on like Twitch versus YouTube. Like do we need to be rallying more people for mods or what? Is it gonna is like the potential like super high or
I mean, I have no idea. It's going to depend on the type of content he puts out. Depends on what videos go big. Depends on what current events happen. I mean, there's like a million things that influence a person's growth. I can't call that. Like, I can't say in advance like this person will grow or this person won't.
sorry, I guess in like in relation to like the platform, like I've heard a lot of like really weird things about like discoverability, and I don't know how like do you think YouTube is like hands off enough to where they're not going to like the algorithm's not gonna fuck them for being edgy and stuff?
Depends on how he titles his videos and everything. I mean, I can't know truly. It depends on that comes down to how he manages his stuff. But I mean, like my stuff is pretty edgy, but I've never been demonetized on YouTube or anything like that before. So
I've never been demonetized for any of them.
I mean, some have gotten demonetized, but I'm not like demonetized as a channel. Like I still earn ad revenue against most of my
Oh,
stuff and everything.
I got you. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Um, how did you get on the abortion panel? Did you? This is just one for me. It was like a
I
bunch
think
of
he usually
people.
just messages me when stuff
Oh,
comes
that was
out.
him. That was him reaching out to you.
hmm And I
Phenomenal.
usually always jump on stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm really glad that you guys have a really like. Would it be fair to say that you stream with Mr. Girl more than any other content creator right now?
It's possible. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't like keep track, but maybe.
Yeah, if I had to guess. Yeah, he seems to be the most regular one now.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Do you think that he's easier to interact with on stream than like other people? Like, I don't know, you seem to have a pretty good flow with Lauren Southern.
Yeah, but
Everything
our
seemed to.
topics are like completely different.
You're what?
The topics we talk about are going to be totally different, right?
Yeah.
Like my comments with her are going to be way more politically oriented.
Okay. I guess before I let you go, is there anything that I guess did you just want to put out there about Mr. Girl?
Check out his content. He's an interesting dude.
Okay, fair enough. Destiny, I really appreciate you giving me the time for what I'm doing. It's invaluable. Like I guess I could have made a video without it, but it would have been it'd have been really silly to have none of your input on Mr. Girl. So from the bottom of my heart, I really thank you. I know you're super duper busy, and you didn't really have to give me the time for this, and that's it. I just really appreciate it.
All right, cool. Well, hey, listen, I love you, buddy. Stay safe. Be careful. Have a good one.
Thanks, you too. Bye. Oh, that's funny. Somebody said wrap it up right at the end. Yeah, man, this motherfucker burned through my questions so fast. Let me go sneak a peek on his stream real quick.
What did you just put in your pocket?
So from the bottom of my heart, I
Be careful. Have a good one.
thanks you too. Bye.
When you use the tree feller ability, you don't get any of the leaves just
Let's see.
disappear and they don't actually drop anything like they do when they despawn, huh?
What did you just put in your pocket? What was? No, I saw you put something in your pocket. What was that? What did you put in there? What was it that was in your pocket though? Because it seemed interesting. It seemed like really interesting. What was it? No, you can tell me. You can tell me. Just tell me what's in your pocket. Let me see. Turn your pockets out really quick. Turn them out. Just turn them out. What is in your pocket?
Okay.
Obama.
True.
Aw,
See the guy going to
Obama
Western U.S.
happened
has 32
afterwards.
million views. Yeah.
This is
Oh wait, no wait, we haven't seen this.
America's most racist man, and this is the story of how I found this man.
Oh no, wait, we
and
did see
tricked
this.
him into giving me an
Oh, wow.
interview.
Wait, we
with
didn't
the
see this.
craziest thing.
I guess that's pretty impressive. DGG didn't really have anything nasty to say about me. Yeah, thank you. I saw that. I haven't streamed on YouTube in a really, really long time. Yeah, I thought about asking him if he had some sort of emotional reaction to watching that video, but it seemed like he kind of addressed it anyways. Yeah, I was kind of surprised that the answers weren't a little bit more interesting. But I mean, to be fair, I could imagine that he's just genuinely doesn't remember a lot of that stuff. Like even when I get asked about things that I've done on my stream, I don't really know. Oh, also, Will, I definitely did all the audio stuff. I turned it up on here. Does it sound better? I hope it sounds better. Like I'm louder and all that. And I will get the Iridate one up for you. Oh shit, I missed all your answers. Yeah, I know I could do. I know I can do multi-stream. It's cold and calculating, no feelings, no emotion. Yeah, it's just kind of like boom, 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 and it's very much what I set out to not do when I talk to people about. When I try to do these interviews, I try to make it a little bit more personable, but like it's a lot harder to do that with Destiny. All I could really do was sort of like defer back to like my stream and kind of sort of ask him his opinion on some things that were like adjacent to what we were talking about. It was a lot harder to like latch on to something because like it doesn't seem like there's like anything really like super unanswered about what he thinks about anything. And it's sort of hard to like make casual conversation with somebody whose life is like almost entirely online. Oh, okay. I do really appreciate you breaking that down though, Will. Even though I didn't catch it in time, I sort of rushed and figured it out and even like got a thumbnail made really quick. And I had to go walk to pick up my vehicle too before this started. This is it was like a quarter to 4 I had to go to it. It was kind of stressful. But like on the bright side though, I actually got a answer to my question that made a lot of sense. It was a lot less exciting than a bunch of things I could have like imagined it to be, but still, I got it. That's cool. I don't have it doesn't have to bug me anymore. You're not dumb, man. You're fucking awesome. This man, this Will and his channel man, broke down hardcore how to get my OBS to have the correct title and all that. No, no, no. That's how I fucking write, dude. You're perfectly fine, and it's so appreciated. You have no idea. Oh. I didn't realize still in the call. Oh, I see. A1 like. Okay. I had a message from one of my favorite content creators. They need some advice about their audio stuff. Just ironically, they talk to me. Although, to be fair, my mic is phenomenal. It's just taken me a little while to get used to how to tweak it and set it up and all that. So I did get my second decline. Brittany Simon told me no, which is kind of a bummer because she is like her and Mr. Girl have like one of the weirdest interactions, I think. And like one of the most interesting ones, and it would have been really cool to ask her questions and get her takes. So like when it comes to Brittany Simon, I can't ever think of her name. Let's see. This is who she reminds me of, like hardcore, but like in real life. Wait, no. Let's see. Drag it over in a second. I don't wanna clue it away before I get there. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Brittany Simon seems like a real life version of this chick from Parks and Recs. Who is she? I don't know if you've ever seen Parks and Recs, but like Jesus Christ, I couldn't have picked a worse video to fucking represent her. Yeah, I know, it would have been really good. And I think if I were to interview Brittany Simon, I would just have like my stock questions that I ask everybody and just kind of go with it because I don't know how useful it would have been to have like a set like series of questions to go with. I would just sort of hand her the keys to the car and see where she wanted to take me. Let's see.
Hard pass.
Oh, I see.
Person.
This is Mona Lisa Saperstein, my new
This
sales
chick.
associate.
Mona Lisa Saperstein. Does that mean?
Oh yeah! Mona Lisa, worst person. Gotta keep it in the.
Boss man, I need to leave early today because my shrink got me and him tickets to a Pitbull concert. And I already committed to that. And so if you say that I can't go, it's like you're taking something away from me.
Store's really busy. I kinda need you to stay.
I totally hear you. I also don't like what you're saying. So if you say no, I will start a fire in the bathroom.
Is that not the most Brittany Simon energy you've ever seen? Tell me I'm wrong. Mm. Yeah. Brain was bad. I will tell you you're wrong, but only because you asked me to. All right, let's see. Iridite asked me if this needs an interface. Let's see. Quadcast standalone mic. It doesn't look like it has XLR, so it probably doesn't need an interface. Let's see. It should not need an interface then. We can check to see what people usually buy with it too. Super quiet. Okay. Doesn't look like it needs an interface. Yeah. Like HyperX makes pretty decent stuff for the price, generally speaking, but considering the kinds of issues that she's having with her microphone, I think that I'd want to look at it's number 2 in consumer microphones. But all that really says is that people will just buy things. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's good. I'll have to do some digging on that for her later. Save that. Why well, I already have it saved? Yeah. Holy shit! I'm like getting blown up here. Really sucks that I couldn't stream it on Twitch. Because I did hit double digits here. Yeah, yeah, I got the yeah. If there's an XLR, then it's gonna need one. If this was on Twitch, I think I would have gotten a lot better because it would have like blasted out to all my followers, and I only have like I have like a quarter as many subscribers on YouTube. But I mean, it's fine. It was very good for the YouTube, anyways. At least I have something to help like push the YouTube a little bit more. It would have been cool to have it on Twitch though. I actually considered streaming it on Twitch just so that I would get banned for like 3 days, and then at least it would be like something to talk about. Um, Damn, dude, everybody in the world is trying to get a hold of me right now. It's crazy. Holy shit. Ridiculous. Um, this video will bring a bunch of people. Yeah, I hope so. I think so. Um, yeah, if you're on here and you haven't, like, it's 100% free to subscribe to me on YouTube, and it's totally free to subscribe to, or to follow me on Twitch. Like, I'll never ask anybody to send me money in any way, shape, or form. But the free stuff, like, come on, why not? I'm small. I need it. I need this Mr. Grill video to come out to some eyes, so that all my hard work. Just shit. That's not even fucking fair. Everybody who has a name is gonna watch it on their stream. But you guess all the more reason then. Watch it on my stream first, and then see what they think about it. Don't get your opinion of it from Destiny or from like anybody else. Just watch it and think what you think about it that way. Which means I gotta get those numbers up a little bit more so that way more people can see it with a clear head instead of like fucking 50,000 people watching it on Destiny's channel only getting his takes from it. Not that I think I have a bad one, but Christ, it's kind of a weird idea that when I make my video, um, that uh, a ton of people are gonna see it, and that they're gonna see it from the lens of somebody else instead of just like how I'm presenting it in and of itself. And I don't really know how to approach like that. Like I don't know how like I don't know if there's like any kind of style or direction that I can take the video in to make it like a little bit more immune to the idea that people are going to um basically be viewing it through the lens of somebody else watching it. Which is a little bit stressful. Because I guess with all the hard work that's going into it, I guess I just want people to see what I'm making and not see somebody else's opinion. But it's unavoidable. That's the sort of the nature of what's going to happen when you talk to all these people about it. Like they're going to be a part of it. They're going to want to see it when it's out. They're going to see how they're represented. And I still have to make a fucking bibliography for it too, which is kind of fucking sucks. Um, but in the sake of integrity, I felt like it was necessary. Yeah, I guess it's kind of weird. And like at least it's rare. I don't think that'll be the case for like a lot of other things because it's not like I'm gonna need to talk to a million people to make videos about other things. Since it's like my first like big video project that I've like literally ever made, it just feels weird to be like so under the gun for it and like susceptible to like a small handful of people's opinions that'll inform like the broader audience's opinions. It's just very, very strange and abstract idea to me. That went way faster than I wanted to. I had like three pages of shit to go through with him. One, two, three, almost four whole pages. I usually like three is usually like a really good amount, and I made up stuff on the fly, and I think we cut barely over an hour. Uh, like he doesn't really fill the gaps with anything. He'll just like do whatever he's doing. So which is fine. That's not bad, but it makes it harder to do like to have a more flowy, natural feeling conversation. Like I mentioned, it's sort of like the thing that I always try to avoid doing, which is like being like treating them like a Google machine. And I guess a lot of things that I asked too were like kind of had some like emotional like feeling response behind them about like what he thinks. Like what I guess when I'm asking his opinion on something, I guess I was in a way like asking him how he felt about something, and that's just that wasn't something that I was able to get out of asking him, which is fine. And to some degree, I knew would be the case, but I still had to ask them anyways. Um, I don't think that I have anybody else with like a big name attached to them. It could be the framing of interview. Sure. But I mean, it's yeah, I guess I just didn't have that issue with anybody else. Like it was I was always going into them framing it as an interview, but it was a lot easier with everybody else that I talked to find things to sort of make it like a more personal like experience and like kind of like working in some conversation in between and make it feel a lot like more natural like we're just talking and not like I'm trying to just like farm them for answers. Um but I guess it just seemed like for Destiny is like there's really nothing else to say in between, which is fine and fair. It's not like there's anything wrong with that, but it's just I guess it sort of made me feel I guess like rushed in how I was going through the questions. Yeah, and certainly some of it's due to like limitations on my part too, of just knowing how to navigate it when it's in a situation like that. But the one thing that I'm really really happy about is that I got the answer to the rectal question, and I think that was pretty genuine. Um, yeah, I chose not to make an Anna joke, on the off chance that like uh, it just like I don't know, it just seemed like a bad idea. Uh, so I had one in mind ready to go, but I just was like I don't think I'm gonna do that. And of course, there's also the risk that if I make an Anna joke, that we could end up accidentally saying her name 3 times, and then she would show up, and I'd have no idea how to fucking handle that situation. Although, in all honesty, it would be really interesting to talk to Anna about what she thinks about Mr. Girl because she doesn't like him. But as far as I can tell, she's just like disappeared. I wanted to talk to her, but I can't. There's like literally no avenue for me to message her about it. I didn't say good. Well, like, it'd be good to talk to somebody who like feels pretty comfortable talking about why they don't like him, and I think that she feels like super like valid in her criticisms of him, and that's cool. Like, Poly People is really really felt super valid in their criticism of Mr. Grill too, and I liked that. I just didn't appreciate the chat response. They're a bunch of meanies. Oh wait, but yeah, but Destiny's not here. The ritual wasn't complete. Although, not gonna lie, my breath got caught in my throat when you said that. I'm yeah, the other side of that is that I'm like legitimately scared. Oh. Oh, what the fuck? Jesus Christ, I seen I had notifications from Poly People's chat. It said I saw a bunch of shit from a bunch of people, and I'm very proud of you all. Like, I think she's like it's like crying to Destiny about them. Wow, it seems like she's like happy that they were mean to me. That's really weird thing to say. But whatever. I mean, I guess if that's what it is, then that's what it is. That's not I wouldn't have gotten that vibe from her that she like was that she was like for that. Yeah, I saw a bunch of mean shit from a bunch of people, and I'm very proud of all of you. That doesn't seem very nice. Yeah, it's kind of mindfucky for me. I was not prepared for that. It's like, oh, sorry, I did forget to ask. Well, thank you guys for showing up. I think I'm just gonna go, I don't know. I'm gonna try to chill out and relax a little bit. That was I guess I just wish I didn't move so fast through it. Could have gotten a little more, but that's just the nature of it. My nerves are fucking high from this. I had to pick up my vehicle, and like none of his credit card reader wouldn't take my phone payment, so that was stressful too. I like left here with like I got home with like 20 minutes to spare. It was weird. So yeah, um, I got some. Before I go, I can see what I got going on. I got some talks with a couple of fans coming up soon. I still got a schedule. Tomorrow, I'm not streaming because I have a date with somebody that I've talked to for a really long time. So not gonna get canceled this time. Fingers crossed. Well, actually, it's not been like completely confirmed. I gotta touch base, but should be not streaming tomorrow because of the date. And then on Saturday, as far as I know, Natasha 405 and I are going to, well, Saturday or Sunday. I think it's Saturday though. We're gonna do another conspiracy theory stream and kind of separate the theories from the fantasies and talk about things that are next. This time we're gonna talk about one that she's really invested in, so that way I don't spend the majority of the time talking. All right. Yeah, thanks for showing up, and thanks for being really, really chatty. I really like the fact that Kia Weird said the most in my chat. It's it's nice. This is what it looks like for you, huh? When you look over and see it. All right. Yeah, I'm out of here. Take it easy.